Denglisch Docs. Like everything in life, being with someone has different levels. There are different ways to describe your particular situation. So, how do we talk about that special person in your life in English? In the beginning, if you met for coffee 1 or 2 times, we would use an expression like, "We're just getting to know each other." This expression is nice and light and doesn't indicate any level of commitment or even necessarily any romantic connection. Another expression is hanging out. It's extremely flexible and used to describe spending time with anyone from your best friend to the man or woman of your dreams. For example, if someone asks, "Are you and Sarah together?" you might say, "Together? No way, we're just hanging out." It's perfect because it's ambiguous. The next step in the relationship would probably be to say you are seeing each other. Or you could describe your status by saying, "I'm seeing someone." Of course, those of us with eyes see lots of people every day, from the bus driver to the old lady behind the counter at the bakery. But in this context, if you were to say Sarah and I are seeing each other people would understand that you two are connected romantically. A bit more serious than that would be to say that you and Sarah are going out. When your friend asks you, "Are you seeing anyone?" you can answer, "Yes, I've been going out with Sarah for 2 months now." Another term you may hear with the same meaning is dating. But young English speakers tend to use this term less than our parents' generation, as it sounds a bit old-fashioned. If you and the person you're going out with have had a discussion and decided to go out with only each other, you might say that you two are exclusive. Here again is a very old-fashioned term that only our grandparents would say: going steady. Your grandmother might ask, "Are you and Sarah going steady?" You say, "Yes, Grandma, we're exclusive. Now please go back to knitting and stop asking me so many questions about my love life." Of course, after you've been together for a time, maybe a few months or several years, one possibility is that you decide to get engaged, which is to say that you plan to get married. But not every relationship is destined for marriage. In fact, in the modern world, many people are content to find meaningful relationships that don't end with a wedding. Some relationships have a greater emphasis on physical intimacy and are less about emotional attachment or commitment. The term hooking up is quite commonly used to describe a relationship where the focus isn't so much romance, but rather the physical or sexual connection. This can be anything from the occasional kiss to regularly sleeping together. If a close friend asks you about another person, you might say, "We're hooking up for a while, but I didn't see it getting more serious." A related term that people use nowadays is friends with benefits. The benefits here refer to, well, the benefits of sexual satisfaction that both people get out of the relationship. Typically, it's a situation where there is real sexual chemistry, but there isn't necessarily a romantic connection. Nonetheless, the people involved genuinely care for each other as friends and simply have decided to add a physical element to the relationship for extra fun. We might say, "I can't commit the time or emotional investment into a full relationship right now, so Sarah and I are just friends with benefits." You might also hear people describe this kind of arrangement using the abbreviation as, "I'm only looking for an FWB relationship right now." And finally, we use the terms casual and serious to describe the level of commitment in a given relationship. If someone tells you, "I'm not looking for anything serious right now," they probably mean they're just looking for fun and maybe a physical intimacy, rather than the emotional connection a romantic relationship usually involves. Whatever you're looking for, going out or hooking up, seeing lots of people or seeing someone exclusively, a friends with benefits arrangement, or something more serious, you've just learned a few new terms to help you describe it. Thanks for watching Denglisch Docs.
We out like that.